Today I have a 2021 Tesla Model Y. This is the long-range dual motor version. Let's take it for a spin. Okay, so this is my first time driving a Tesla, let alone any modern electric car. And I gotta say, it's quite interesting. And also that I like it. The first thing I notice is that it's completely silent. You notice just some slight whirring from the motors, because there are two of them. Wow! And they have instant and constant torque. It has no problem getting off the line with that all-wheel drive traction. The torque really shoves you back in the seat just relentlessly. And again, it's quiet. It's kind of weird to not hear an engine, or a gasoline or diesel engine. Now this does have the autopilot feature, so I can set the cruise control by pushing down on the drive stalk, and we can also enable automatic steering by tapping down twice. And you can also see a depiction of this vehicle here in the merge lane on the entrance ramp. And now it sees the car in front of us, and it's adjusting the speed so that we don't hit. But let's see what some passing power looks like. Wow! Effortless. Adjust the cruising speed either by pressing down again when you reach the speed you want, or you can use this right side wheel or scroll control on the steering wheel. The other main difference you notice driving an electric car is the regenerative braking, and that's to say that when you take your foot off the accelerator pedal while you're cruising, it actually starts to slow down and apply the brakes. It's not like, say, a Toyota Prius where the car will still just coast. It actually, basically, whenever you're in gear and you have your foot off the accelerator pedal, it applies the brake. So that can take some getting used to drive the car smoothly. But again, that's something that just takes some practice, I'm sure. See, I'm not actually touching the brake, but we are slowing down, and it feels like we're braking. You can see if I just let it go, we would actually come to a complete stop before the stop sign. Now, by default, well, I can't change it right now. Anyway, by default, you can see where it says stopping mode here on the screen. There are three settings. There's creep, roll, and hold. And what hold does, which is, hold is the default setting, that'll hold the car at a stop when you put the car either in drive or reverse and take your foot off the brake. It won't move. You can see I have it in creep, which is the setting that makes it more like a conventional car with an automatic transmission. When you take your foot off the brake at a stop while it's in gear, it'll start to creep forward, which is why it's called creep. And then roll is basically, if you take your foot off the brake, it'll be like the car is in neutral until you step on the accelerator pedal. So there are 3 different settings. Creep feels the most natural if you're used to driving a normal car, but hold is the most efficient. Let's chuck it around this corner. Whoa! Okay, this thing handles quite well. If you can get over the firmer ride, or if that's what you want, this thing handles really, really well, even sitting up higher than a Model 3, which this is based upon. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know, the acceleration just kind of leaves you speechless sometimes if you're not used to it. Okay, I could get into a lot of trouble in this car. I gotta be careful. Anyway, there are 2 acceleration modes. I have it in standard, and then there's also a chill mode, which basically reprograms the accelerator pedal. So it's not as aggressive on input, so you can push, in other words, you can push it a little bit more, and the car won't accelerate as much. That might be better for just normal city driving, but I'm going to leave it in standard. And again, I haven't touched the brake pedal yet, but now I am to stop at this red light. And then you can see here 3 steering modes. I have it in sport mode, which is it gives you the most feel. It's the most tight feeling, I guess, if you will, and it feels pretty good. The opposite end, comfort. This makes it much lighter and very easy to daily drive, and then standard is somewhere in the middle. I'm going to leave it in sport mode. And then I'm going to put it in park. I'm going to change it to hold, and we'll put it back in gear. Okay, this is pretty fun. And wow, it's picking up all those cones on the side of the road. That's really interesting. And oncoming traffic. Yeah, stopping smoothly really takes some practice with the regenerative braking. But anyway, now that we're stopped, I just wanted to bring up this goofy feature called Toy Box, which lets you prank your passengers if you click emissions. And you can even set it so that you can get it to make the noise when you activate a turn signal. I'll just leave that on for now for fun. Oops. And then Boombox, this actually lets you play sounds through the outside of the car. It lets you replace the horn sound with similar sounds. I'll demonstrate that once we're away from other people. And then some other little fun Easter eggs here, but this is really comical. You can see the rear view camera with the 2 side view cameras. You can see I have it in the hold setting now. I'm off the brake, we're in gear, we're not moving. Now, also driving this, some other details that I noticed that are specific to Tesla in general is just the interior is very simple and there are minimal physical controls. Basically, the whole car is controlled right here in this floating tablet-style 15-inch touchscreen. There are some hard buttons for what you would expect, like obviously the turn signals, the gear shift, the power windows, and the door latches, which are electronic. But other than that, there's only one shortcut on the turn signal stalk for the wipers. Otherwise, you have to go in here. But it does have, as you can see, automatic wipers, so that's kind of one way to bypass having to mess with a screen to turn on the windshield wipers. You can see the power mirrors are all controlled on here. You use this left side scroll wheel on the steering wheel. And same with the power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. That's all controlled through here. Same with the headlights. So we just leave them in automatic. It does have automatic high beams. And the other thing that is a little bit strange is that there's no screen or instrument cluster directly in front of you as the driver. It's just all on this half of the screen, which I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's if you're not used to it, it can be a little bit jarring. And as I mentioned before, the ride is on the firm side, even with the 19-inch standard wheels that are on this model. You can actually get an optional 20-inch wheel on the long-range model, and then the performance model has 21-inch wheels, so I can only imagine that those will ride even stiffer than this. All in all, this is a really fun car to drive. It's very torquey. It handles great, even though it sits up higher. I'd be curious to drive a Model 3. I imagine it would handle even better. You just really have to get used to the regenerative braking, and then some other different things you have to deal with, like the key. The key lives inside this little envelope. It's just basically a little black credit card that says Tesla on it. There it is. But you can, of course, also use your phone as the key, which means you don't have to carry this around. But the other thing is there's really no on or off button. You just kind of get in, the car knows that you're inside, and you put it in gear and you start driving. And then when you get out, you can set the car to automatically lock and it powers itself down. I can't get over this acceleration. Once again, the car is slowing down on its own. Both because of the regenerative braking and also because I have the cruise control set and it knows we're coming to a red light. Okay, I'm going to shut that off for a second. The other thing I notice is the steering wheel feels kind of small. It's just smaller than I'm used to. Obviously, it's all electric power steering, and it's only 2 turns lock to lock, meaning from center to either right or left, it's just a 360-degree swoop, and you're already at the limit. Oops. Alright, I have auto steer turned on again with the cruise control. To demonstrate, you have to keep slight pressure on the steering wheel with your hand. So you can see if you let go, eventually it'll say, hey, grab the wheel. Maybe. Unless you're driving in a perfectly straight line. Yeah, see, apply slight force to the steering wheel. And then this little blue warning means the same thing. Yeah, I can feel the auto steer is working, just to stay in the center of the lane. Yeah, for long highway drives, this could be really handy. Got a little curve in the road. Let's see how it does. Not too bad. Okay, I had to override it a little bit to stay out of that little rut in the road on the right side. Climate control is all done electronically here on the screen. It is a dual zone system. Now we've got that corner again. Anyway, as I was saying, cruise control, or the climate control, it is a dual zone system. It does have front and rear heated seats. There are shortcut buttons here on the bottom to turn the front ones on, but the rear you have to turn on from this screen here. But there is a single button to turn them all off, which is convenient. They're 3-stage heated seats. Okay, I've got to do one more freeway entrance here. Jesus. Highway cruising with autopilot and auto steer active would be a total breeze in this car. You know, as long as you're driving on smooth roads, the ride should be fine. It's just on, you know, unevenly paved roads or bumpier roads, you really feel all the imperfections, and the ride is kind of stiff. So if you're looking for a soft ride, this might not be the car for you, but you could probably get used to it. seats are pretty comfortable. There is a fair amount of head and leg room. I'm 6'4", and I have, I'm feeling now, probably, wow, several inches up to the glass roof. I have the seat all the way down. Legroom is adequate. I wish there was a little bit more lateral space, but it's fine as it is. All around, yeah, this is a very practical vehicle. Aside from when it farts at you on turn signals. This thing is ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't touch the brake pedal at all. That's really interesting. Wow, yeah, this, so much torque, and it just grips the road very well. It's worth mentioning this lid right here actually serves as a charging dock for your phone. You can put two phones, one on either side, and it's charging. Rearward visibility is really not great. The rear window in the hatch is kind of small. The side mirrors are also a little bit on the small side, if you ask me, but obviously this car has plenty of driver assistance technology that you can see blind spots and rearward visibility when you're backing up quite well. Yep, that was a complete one pedal stop. I just kept slight pressure on the accelerator. Obviously, if you need to stop faster, then of course hit the brake pedal. But yeah, I could probably get used to this. It's just if you're used to, you know, stepping on the gas and then letting off, and stepping on it and letting off, you're going to make your passengers seasick. So don't do that. All right, let's see if we can do another one pedal. Yep, I'm off the accelerator completely, tapping it a little bit to close this gap. And we're at a complete stop. I haven't touched the brake pedal. Alright, well, we're losing daylight, so I should probably wrap this up pretty quick here. Alright. Alright, so there's an initial driving overview of the Tesla Model Y long range. I know this video was kind of all over the place, but I'm not really sure how much I'll be able to film this car, so I just wanted to throw everything in as much as I could. So I hope you enjoyed. All right.